All right, we are here. 2 days in a row. Man, that's happened twice in the past, I don't know, month or so. Doing pretty good. Now, of course, with my schedule at work, I work 48-hour shifts, so I can't do every day or even every other day, but try to get it where I can. But anyway, welcome back. We are here. We are once again talking paranormal stuff. We are going to go ahead and go through another video, Nuke's Top 5. Shout out Nuke, as usual. Yeah, we'll go through, discuss some of their videos, the evidence or lack thereof, as seems to often be the case. We might also work on some other stuff. I'm actually in the middle of writing a script, I guess. I'm wanting to put out a YouTube video discussing the types, explaining the types of hauntings in the most basic form, because it can really get convoluted and really involved. So I'm just trying to hit the highlights, the important parts. We may work on that some more, because I think it's valuable content anyway. Because in the process of writing, obviously, we're going to be discussing a lot of that information. So, that being said, we may or may not do that. We'll see. But we're going to go ahead and jump into some paranormal videos. Where are you at? Okay. Let's pick up right where we left off. Actually, I think last time we did we may have left off at the weird creatures video, which actually turned out to be one we'd seen before. So, wasn't that great. So, let's see, 5 scary ghost videos you won't watch alone. Lucky for us, we have each other, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. Jump right into it. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Won't watch alone. Try me, Nuke.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera.
Does that seem really loud?
Meanwhile, on TikTok. TikTok user Chris has security cameras mounted all around his home. Late one night, the cameras capture a very bizarre incident
bring it down
in
just
his
a
living
skosh.
room. So, Chris is at home hanging out with his friends when all of a sudden a phone starts ringing. Now,
I hear people say,
nothing
all
that,
of the sudden. I'm pretty sure it's all of a sudden.
right?
But I don't know.
Well,
Could be
trust
wrong.
me, it all gets very weird, very fast.
You can add mods if you want to, Hunter.
The only weird thing I know so far is the fact that they have an Oculus VR system and a landline phone hanging on their wall. That's pretty unusual.
Holy shit. Look right at it, honey. What? 70. What? No! No! What? No! What? That phone was just plugged in! It rang! That thing's
That's weird.
plugged in. So I answered it. What? Did you hear it? That's what that ringing was with the
That's real strange.
That was the phone! Yeah. What the f***? It rang. That's not plugged in! I ripped this out of the wall! That ain't plugged in!
So that kind of explains the whole having an Oculus and a landline phone. They don't actually have a landline phone. Reaction makes you think it's fake. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of believable. Maybe not. I need to pay closer attention to that maybe. Let's see.
Plugged in!
Oops. I went back too far.
Now let's get into this week's top 5, top 10. Top 10.
God
ghosts
bless it.
caught
I hit the wrong button. Switch to the next video.
on- Top
He
5
may see,
ghosts
and
caught
you know,
on
I was
camera.
thinking that because that is kind of a common cell phone ring, that vintage whatever. Tavia, welcome back. Where's dark mode? What do you mean? Like in here? Is it too bright?
cool as shit.
I don't know. It did stop right when she picked up the receiver. It didn't seem like it was at the end of its ring. So, you know, those old phones do that. Your browser is on light mode. Nobody does that. That's not okay. Really? That's the only way I ever have my browser.
What? What?
I live in a bright world.
No! What? No! What? That phone was just fucking plugged in! It rang! That thing's not plugged in!
Dark mode is much nicer on the eyes. Maybe that's why I can't see anything. My eyes always hurt.
Did you read it? That was the phone!
Because you're old and not cool. That's possibly true as well.
That's not plugged in! I ripped this out of the wall!
He's a little dramatic. I don't know. Maybe he is faking.
It's plugged in! Alex! Alex! You found this phone with us and it just rang on the wall!
But I feel like you would act like that if you're drunk too, and they're clearly all drunk.
An old landline phone that Chris has on his
Oh,
wall
here he goes.
starts
He's explaining
ringing,
it.
and his friend Julie picks it up. However, there's no one on the line, just static. But this is where things take a very bizarre turn.
The phone ring, the
Chris
landline
found this
phone.
phone in an old abandoned school and simply hung the phone on his wall as some sort of retro decoration. This phone is not plugged in to anything. There's absolutely no phone service or even a cable attached to this ringing landline phone. After his video went viral on TikTok, Chris followed up with a new video explaining exactly where he found the creepy phone.
So, backstory of how I got the phone. I was at an abandoned building exploring, and I was in the basement, and in the middle of the room, there was this phone.
It's a prop with a battery?
Perfect condition, worked and everything. So I ripped it out.
You know, I also thought of that as well. Maybe it has a battery. It could be. He could be making the whole thing up. Our new neighbors are
Tore it
home.
off right off. Brought it home so I could hang it up on my wall for decoration.
Chris says that right after the strange ringing, he and his friends opened up the phone and looked for anything suspicious that could explain the scary event. Even possibly a speaker hidden inside the phone as a prank. But they found nothing out of the ordinary.
So if we
Just a
take their word
standard
for
old
it, that's pretty
telephone.
strange.
They had no explanation for the
Pretty
bizarre
unusual
ringing.
indeed.
So now, fearing that the phone might be cursed, Chris decides to return it to the place
I feel
he
like there
found
might
it.
be like you could probably find those old like phones as some kind of weird vintage decoration, and they might have some sort of, you know, batteries or something like you're talking about. I don't know why you would want that. Because the first thing you do after witnessing a paranormal event is physically touch it seconds later. Actually, I do. I certainly would. Try to figure out if it's the real deal.
Which happens to be the abandoned Cooley High School in Detroit, Michigan. The school opened
We've
in 1928
visited the
and due to
Cooley
budget cuts was later
on the channel.
closed in 2010. Over its nearly 100-year history,
It's really
the
interesting.
school was believed to be extremely haunted. On his trip to return the phone to the school,
Gonna
Chris
get
is joined
zapped.
by
Yeah,
Julie,
maybe.
his friend who earlier
I've
picked
been
up
electrocuted so many times doing my own electrical work around the house. I'm probably immune by now.
the ringing phone, and his buddy Nathan. Chris records their entire exploration of the old abandoned school. And as you might guess,
It doesn't
it did
go
not
well.
go well.
Alright, so we're here at the school we got the phone from. I was trying to do live, but I don't have service in here. We
Is it
have
not?
Nathan
It's not like
and the
snake
girl
bites?
Who answered the phone in the first place.
Hey.
It's been 7 days. You should be dead.
I hope I am.
You're actually probably gonna die tonight.
That's fine.
Ring reference.
Alright, so I know the basement is on this side. Basement. Whew. Dude, what if the phone rings in the backpack?
Dude, I would push you down the stairs.
I would push you down the stairs. Oh. Yeah, this is the room. Right, what the is in here?
So, yeah, you've clearly been here before anyway.
Right there, that's the cord. I ripped it out of the wall. Alright, so Julie, take the phone out of the backpack and put it on the wall.
No, touch it.
You picked it up so you can touch it.
I wonder if that outline where it was, if that lines up. I mean, I don't think they would have thought of that. Oh, maybe that's where it was hanging.
It starts ringing.
Alright, if there's any kind of ghost or whatever attached to this phone, make it ring again, brought it back.
Yeah.
What you wanted.
So according to that wall, clearly has wiring. When they showed it earlier, can you see where the wiring would have been? He said that was the one. That one hanging down. This one was the one that he pulled out of it.
Where's that coming from?
There's another phone somewhere. That's spooky. That would creep me out big time.
What are you?
Is that coming from the other room?
Wait, why is there another phone down here? And why is it ringing?
Like they showed the back of the phone earlier, there would have been holes for wires to go
They got
through. There's holes, like there was regular holes where like the wire would come out. It depends on how, like, what broke when he pulled it out. Cause it sounded like he just yanked it out.
I hear nothing.
I don't know, something about this video makes it feel genuine to me.
Was that crazy?
I don't think so.
Oh my god. Come on, let's leave. Let's leave. This is a
Dude,
Nah, you're committed now.
We gotta check that out.
No!
Nathan.
Why not? Dude, no, because this is how you f***ing die in
Why
movies.
not?
No, 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 no! No, 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 no!
Shortly after Julie hangs the phone back in its original
pretty wild.
location in the school, the three friends start to hear unexplained ringing coming from somewhere.
Now, unless it's still part of this big hoax they're putting together, and whatever made that ringing before, they have stashed somewhere in there, could very well be.
Inside the creepy abandoned building. Chris has had enough and just runs. His two friends follow and they all get out of there as fast as they can. To this day, Chris says that he has no intention of ever going back to the haunted Cooley High School. So did Chris capture a paranormal phone call from beyond? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. TikTok user Isaiah Castillo and his girlfriend Melissa are proud owners of a cute schnauzer named Haley. One night when Haley is alone in the couple's living room, this happens.
Again, always watch the dogs and kids. What was that? Thought I saw something over here. Maybe it was just the logo disappearing. Yeah, that's what it was. Caught it out of the corner of my eye. Dog's freaking out about
A
something.
security camera in the living room captures the moment when little Haley gets so spooked that she just runs away in sheer terror. Now first, unexplainably, the dog starts to bark at something we can't see. She then
Could be
hops onto
something
the
outside.
couch, but something catches her attention on the back wall. Suddenly, she vaults off the couch in an absolute...
So I think this fell, it looked like it fell about the time she jumped off the couch and it slammed against the wall. So just the vibration of that is probably what made that fall. Would be my guess. That was pure panic the way he ran away. Even if it trained it, would have kept his balance. Yeah, something definitely had him spooked. He might have saw something outside the window or heard something. He's definitely spooked, freaking out. But I think this thing falling
panic,
was from him.
running so fast that she slides across the floor
she-
and crashes into the living room wall. As she runs, a vent cover can be seen falling to the floor at the same spot where the dog had been staring. Now, it's certainly possible that the vent could have fallen from the force of Haley jumping off the couch.
Yeah.
But she can be seen staring at that spot before the vent even falls. So it leaves the question, what
definitely
terrifying
freaking out
thing
about
did
something.
the puppy see that made her bolt out of the room? Let me know what you think. A paranormal...
Yeah, she was looking over there and everything, sure. I think the vent falling was from the couch hitting the wall. Why would it not be screwed in? Yeah, I mean, it should be, but I mean, I've seen Stranger Things. It's just stuff just sitting where they should be secured. Stuff just sitting, leaning, stuck against something. Who knows?
nightmare. Foreman brothers Josh and Rocky from the YouTube channel Paranormal Nightmare TV series were contacted by a woman named Linda who lives in Lancaster,
title?
Ohio. She says that ever since she moved into her house 3.5 years ago, she has been experiencing terrifying paranormal activity. The home has a very dark past. The house was built in the year 1900 on land that had once been a Civil War encampment. In the 1920s, a man mysteriously died in the home after an unexplained fall down the stairs. Years later, in the 1950s, it was used as a funeral home. It is also said that in the 1970s, a man tragically took the life of his wife in the living room.
That's kind of another one of the cliche things we get from haunted places. It was once a funeral home, or it was once a, I don't know, mortuary. Wait, is that the same as a funeral home? I don't know. One of them's where, like, medical examiner does his thing, and then the other one's where they prepare bodies for a funeral. Anyway, it's just another one of those cliche things to make you more prone to believing that something's haunted. Just like the Indian burial ground, used to have a cult that lived here, sacrificing ducks and everything,
For ending his own life. With a history like that, it's not surprising that Linda has experienced everything from unexplained loud crashing and dragging sounds to the voices and cries from a little boy and girl. Her bed is shaken violently on many nights, and she says she has been touched and physically hit by something she cannot see.
Inherently
On occasion,
traumatic to the
she says
energy
that something
area.
has whispered her
Agreed.
name in her
They
ear.
don't automatically imply.
She has seen the apparition of a man
fully,
in the basement.
fully agree.
And one
Because you figure by the time they're at the funeral home, if there is a spirit or soul that left the body, it's already gone. At that point, it's just a clump of muscle and bone.
the spirits in the home seems to be extremely violent and dangerous.
I moved here 3.5 years ago, so it would have been about 2017. I've been poked. I've had bruises on my legs. I've been shoved down the stairs. This stairwell right here, I got pushed down this about a month ago. I was about halfway down and got shoved from the back.
Now, taken on its own, Linda's claim that something tries to shove her down the stairs could simply be dismissed as random missteps or perhaps exaggeration. But she's not the first to experience strange activity in this home. The Foreman brothers contact the house's previous owner.
There was a whole lot of activity, and let's just say that I kind of slipped down the stairs a couple times when I didn't lose my footing. I was pushed, for sure.
Linda says that up in her attic bedroom, she often hears voices and whispering. One day, she sets up a camera in her bedroom and actually catches some of the most terrifying EVPs you'll ever hear.
Man, I wish they wouldn't put the subtitles at least the first time through. Because now that's all we're thinking about it's saying is whatever they write there. It's that power of suggestion I talk so much about. So this one, as opposed to a lot of them we hear, definitely sound like voices. Because it's not like a whisper, which anything can make a sound that kind of sounds like a whisper. Yeah, these sound like actual voices. The first thing that was said, they're trying to tell you is saying, "Get out of my way." I don't know. Maybe. Can't really make it out if you look at it objectively. Listen to it objectively, I should say. The other one, single syllable words are even harder when they're that like garbled. So again, I think it's a voice. Not sure what they're saying. I think she has this fan on, which is actually good. That's a vent move. It's creating white noise that EVPs can supposedly. It's hard to say, but out of the white noise, they can kind of pull some audio out of it to put words and stuff together. So the help actually does kind of sound like help. Okay, so this is really interesting. When it talked about the some of these are actually really clear. Putting the word out could be. So when they told us the history of the house, I think they talked about there was some kind of murder, domestic violence type stuff. This sounds a lot like one of those situations, which would put this under the category, in my opinion, of a residual haunting. So probably no actual danger, no interactable, is that a word? It is today. Spirit, nothing you can interact with or communicate with. It's just replaying this high negative energy situation that happened at this location over and over again.
Josh and Rocky Foreman go to investigate the old home in hopes of capturing even more paranormal evidence and to help Linda with
Which,
the
as we
aggressive
discussed
and
before,
frightening paranormal activity
residual
in the
hauntings
home.
may not even
Throughout the
be
investigation,
paranormal.
Josh and Rocky hear and capture very bizarre sounds that they can't explain.
Is there anyone in here with us?
You just hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Something just moved right behind me. I think it just moved something.
Oh, right here.
So obviously stuff moving would not
Loud
be part
banging
of a
right next to
residual
me.
haunt.
The two brothers capture the loud sounds of knocking and unexplained banging, but eventually things start to get a bit more physical.
What? Hold on.
Something just touched me.
Where at?
Right on my elbow. Felt like cobwebs. Just brushed up against me.
Did you touch Rocky?
The guest bedroom is said to be one of the most supernaturally active rooms in the house. So Josh decides to lie down on the bed to try to provoke the ghosts that haunt the house. It seems that he did provoke something.
Man, it feels cool around here. I mean, my.
Whoa.
I mean, my.
Whoa. I seen something.
Something just grabbed my foot.
Josh, having death wish, lays down Satan's honeymoon bed. Yeah.
Grabbed my leg.
So we have kind of a weird combination going on here. The EVP that was caught, we've kind of established, I think, pretty comfortably as a residual haunting. But inherently, a residual haunting can't be provoked. So whatever they're experiencing now, if anything, if they're not kind of freaking themselves out, which could be, it's definitely not residual. It'd be more of an intelligent haunt because they're able to interact with it.
Turn on the light.
No. Keep going. That's what we want.
It just grabbed my leg.
Thank you.
It's under the bed.
Josh says that he sees
Nothing drives me crazy more than a paranormal investigator that when stuff starts happening, they freak out and want to bail. That's exactly what you came here for. You should be excited.
dark shadow figure at waist height moving towards Rocky. Rocky then feels something grab his leg, and it scares him so much that he accidentally breaks the mount on his camera and falls hard against the bed.
Whoa.
Now, if you're familiar with the Foreman Brothers videos, you know that they always stay calm and composed whenever they see or hear anything during an investigation.
Do they though?
So to see both
that guy
Josh
kinda
and
seems
Rocky
like a
so
spaz.
freaked out in this footage, it just
Rocky.
makes the video even more compelling. So did Josh and Rocky Foreman catch the ghosts that are haunting Linda in her home? And just what grabbed Rocky's ankle? And should Josh have cared a little more?
Turn on the light.
No, keep going. That's what we want.
It just grabbed my leg.
Let me know what you think. You can watch this full video and many more great supernatural investigations over on their YouTube channel, Paranormal Nightmare TV series. Hide and Seek. Popular Spanish YouTuber and paranormal explorer Ricky Velasquez frequently does live streams while exploring
I think we've seen
allegedly
him
haunted
before.
locations in Mexico. In his live stream, Ricky
Yeah,
and his
exactly.
friends Nazi and Elisa
Doesn't
are
make any
exploring a
sense.
haunted house in Ciudad Guzman, Mexico that is said to be inhabited by the ghost.
Dude, I feel like a lot. We've seen a lot of videos from that area of Mexico. Wonder what's going on over there. Why is it so scary?
Of a little girl. But Ricky believes it's possible that this little girl spirit might not actually be a little girl at all, but something else. Something dark and sinister. When
Something
Ricky tries to
demonic,
provoke
perhaps?
a reaction by asking the little girl ghost,
Demons are believed to be like master manipulators and have a shape-shifting ability. So it's highly possible, if that's the case, that one could be portraying itself as a little girl when in fact it is a demon or inhuman spirit from the beginning. Probably all the cartel murders. It could be. I don't know if that part of Mexico has. I mean, a lot of Mexico has cartel issues, obviously, but I think it's more like toward the border where it's really bad. I could be wrong, but I think it's closer to the border than this is, where it's such a major issue.
play hide and seek with them, things
You have a
quickly
theory on
take a
demons? I would
turn
like to hear it.
toward the very bizarre.
Ahí estamos en el espejo. Estamos en la casa de la niña. Uy. ¿Qué fue ese ruido?
That could be the negative energy. You could be right.
Si sientes aquí mismo que está encerrado, ¿y cómo se siente? Vamos a jugar a las escondidas, niña.
Ricky and his friends are gathered in the haunted building's restroom when they hear the unexplained moan of a child coming from somewhere inside the room with them. They quickly run out and
I don't know
into
if that
the
was a
hall.
moan.
However,
wouldn't call it
the
a moan.
hallway doesn't seem much safer.
Niña. ¿Te acuerdas de mí? Hola. Ay, baby.
The group is spooked when they hear a loud, unexplained bang. Now they run right back into the restroom. After taking a moment to calm down, they continue their investigation. Ricky looks into the bathroom mirror and captures something absolutely chilling.
Niña.
As happens every time you look in a bathroom mirror. Or any mirror on a paranormal investigation.
Niña.
Did you see it? Ricky and his two friends have no idea that they are not alone as Ricky captures what appears to be a figure right behind him, visible at the edge of the mirror's reflection. But what happens next terrifies them all.
That is a
Si ves
little
eso en el espejo, se ve como manchas así. como
questionable at
rostros.
best.
Oye, ¿está corriendo arriba? Ay, güey. Oye. Oye. Ven. Ven, 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 ven. Ven.
Ricky casually films the mirror once again, and both he and his friend see something strange in the reflection.
Yeah, you can kind of see something moving. You can't go much off of that, but...
When Ricky turns around, he is shocked to his core as the apparition of a little girl appears in the restroom with them.
Yeah. That's pretty scary. Pretty scary indeed. Let's see. In the practice of astral projection, if you believe in it or not, we have limited energy. It's a safety mechanism where you're too low, you'll warp back to your body as to not get forever lost. It's not something you control, it's just something that happens anyway. If we can use that as a mirror to how life outside of physicality works, then we can assume demons who have no physicality to fall back on would ration their energy on a risk versus reward scale. And that would really explain why a lot of demons prefer scares over direct violence, because terror is much easier energy to obtain, far less investment. That's a pretty deep theory. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's logical. Like I said, like I always say, everything in this entire field is completely theoretical. And that's as logical a theory as any other I've heard. Because, yeah, the demons being inhuman, like you said, they have no physicality to fall back on, nor did they ever. And, yeah, they have an innate ability to frighten, which is an energy off which, fear is an energy off which they can feed, I would think, as much as any other energy. Imagine being a non-physical existence, it would be really costly to direct physical interaction, whereas going bump in the night costs barely anything. That's true. Yeah, that makes sense as far as like physical activity, as far as physical violence. Yeah, I see what you mean. Bump in the night, though, yeah, it costs barely anything. I guess that's easy. It's still a physical interaction, but it's not like physically, violently attacking someone. On the other hand, another inhuman spirit would be a poltergeist, and their entire existence is physically manipulating things. So you would think, being able to violently attack someone would probably be pretty easy for a poltergeist, but why doesn't it happen? I don't know. Like, you never really hear about it. Not that I'm aware of a poltergeist actually attacking someone. Whereas demons, there's some evidence that it has happened on rare occasions, and it also depends, do you consider demonic possession to be a physical attack or what? I would say probably so, because the demon's physically taking over the body. I don't know, it's very, very complex. Like, when you're just talking about countless theories of things, it can get pretty convoluted pretty quick. If anything is willing to directly use violence, then you should be very afraid, because their weighted risk reward for that dedication is no big deal. That's true. Yep. And that's... Yeah, I think that's why people are afraid of demons, because they, should have the ability to use violence. But yeah, the question is, why don't they? And maybe your risk versus reward idea is the reason why it answers that question. It just doesn't make sense for them to do it.
With them.
Much,
Ricky
anyway.
and his friends run from the haunted house in terror, and the live stream investigation ends right there. So did Ricky catch the ghost of a little girl live on camera?
Unless that's that chick that was with him, that's a possibility too. And it's just terrible quality, which it is.
Or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
It's far more psychological attack than physical one.
Decide.
Possession
You can check out
or to
this
be full on
paranormal
physical control, it would
investigation
limit
and
itself to gravity and stuff. think they'd just be in full control of the mentality of the person. Oh, wouldn't. Session is more psychological attack. Physical. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't think so. No, but and they do, there's evidence to suggest that they aren't limited by a lot of the physical rules of the world. If you look at there's a very famous interaction with what was called the Demon House in Gary, Indiana, where this little boy was supposedly possessed, and it got to the point where there's actually documentation of psychologists, nurses, police, EMTs, things like that coming to the house and actually witnessing the boy being able to crawl up a wall and crawl on the ceiling and things like that. So if that actually happened, which there's some credibility there, given the witnesses that did come forward, then yeah, they're not limiting themselves to the rules of physics as we know them anyway.
All of Ricky's investigations over on his YouTube channel, Ricky Velasquez. Alone in the Dark. Reddit user RUAmyC143 and her 17-year-old son have been experiencing terrifying paranormal activity after moving into their new home in Massachusetts. Amy doesn't know much about the history of the house other than that it was built in 1895, so one can only imagine the events that might have taken place in the house over the last 126 years. Amy says she has heard strange noises in the middle of the night.
Only real things on Reddit.
Loud banging, the sound of locked doors somehow opening and closing, and the crash of what sounds like heavy objects falling on the floor. Their personal items mysteriously disappear. And strangest of all, their pets, 2 dogs and a cat, often exhibit very strange behavior.
Mama, what's over there?
The cat looks...
What are you trying to find?
Looks curious with something, but not afraid.
Standing there staring over there. What the is she trying to get? There's nothing there.
You could have mice. Real possibility.
Family cat has been staring at something that Amy can't see for 5 minutes
She saw a mouse go in there or something.
to record it with her phone. Now, maybe the cat saw something, or maybe it was just in an odd mood. But now, this next video that the worried mother shared to her Reddit page is a little harder to explain.
She's definitely not scared. She reached up. Yeah. I think she saw a mouse or something go in there. Those are heavy footsteps. I was first, thinking you obviously have pets, cat and a dog. They make weird noises through the night. And I was saying it's impossible that it's not them. It could still be them. But those are some heavy footsteps. Actually, they're a little too irregular to be footsteps in my mind. So it may be the animals doing something, playing with something, or who knows what. Animals are weird. My dogs have dreams like all the time, and it makes them kick, in their sleep. Who knows? The dog could be laying up near a wall or near something, and he's having a bad dream, and he's kicking the hell out of it. Yeah, I don't think those are footsteps at all.
You can hear the sound of someone walking around in Amy's bedroom, even though she is completely alone in the house and fast asleep in bed. Amy caught this recording using a night vision camera that she set up in her bedroom. She has another camera set up just around
60 laps around single hallway. That's true. Yeah, cats are weird, but that's kind of what I was trying to do there anyway, because you could tell by the cat's body language that she wasn't afraid. Something definitely had her attention, but it's not something she was afraid of. It looked like she was more in predatory mode than survival mode or something. So yeah, I stick with the theory that she saw a mouse run in there or something. And I think the noises are probably either her cat or her dog doing something. But it doesn't sound like footsteps, too irregular to be really associated with what we know as footsteps.
around the corner, filming the living room and
I've
hallway.
been a big month, maybe.
Cut to another night, and this time the second camera captures something truly disturbing. A bizarre, unexplained shadow seems to rise up from the area near the couch on the far right, and then quickly disappears back into the darkness, even though there's no one in the room to cast that shadow.
Okay, I'm just going to say that if this made Nuke's top 5 and my video of the shadow on my back porch doesn't make Nuke's top 5, I'm going to be a little annoyed. I'm not going to like that at all. Yeah. Yeah, it's not very good night vision quality, that's for sure. And there's quite a bit of dust flying around, which a lot of people would call, of course, orbs. Which, again, like 99% of the time, orbs are just dust or bugs.
Amy's son decides to spend the night at his girlfriend's place, leaving Amy all alone in the house again. As she sleeps, her security camera captures something downright chilling.
That's better than the other one. Oh, wow.
A strange figure seems to pace back and forth outside of Amy's bedroom. Amy explains that she kept hearing strange...
Is it pacing? So we got 5 o'clock and 19 seconds.
A strange figure seems to pace back...
Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to get an idea. So it goes 4:59 and 8 seconds. (4:59, 54 seconds). Okay, if it's pacing, it's taking an awfully long route. 5 o'clock and 18 seconds.
A strange figure seems to pace back and forth outside of Amy's bedroom. Amy explains that she kept hearing strange banging and dragging sounds, and eventually got out of bed to look around her home. She found nothing, but when she checks her camera's recorded footage, she is shocked. What is especially creepy is that Amy says that one direction the figure is pacing leads directly into a wall. Amy shares on her Reddit page that she's worried for her son.
So that one's kind of interesting. It's a lot better than the one in the living room or whatever with the weird shadow. That's not a bad little clip. I would say I don't understand the wearing the sleep mask things. You know, those masks people wear over their eyes. I feel like I wouldn't be able to sleep with that. It's not really defined enough for me. If there's a window opposite the bed, passing cars could be lighting up. Yes, that is a real possibility. And you see that a lot, like the light play on a wall or casting a shadow. Now, that being said, it's unlikely there would be a road that the light would line up correctly both directions, if that makes sense, to make a shadow look like it's going one way and then another. Like you would think it kind of makes sense, you know, as a car's coming down the road, it would make that effect go one direction, and then maybe with the car going the other direction, it makes that light effect go the other way. But for both of those to line up in such a way that it would show up in the exact same spot, just going opposite directions, that really doesn't add up to me. I don't think the odds are in favor of that. Go back, take note. Does the entire room's lighting change or just the hallway? Good question. Now we're asking the right questions. Let's see.
All alone in the house again. As she sleeps, her security camera captures something downright chilling.
There may have been a little fluctuation there. Yeah, it does seem to get a little brighter. Well, on that one it didn't. But
a strange figure seems to pace back and forth outside of Amy's.
It's hard to say because it's fluctuating so much with just the quality of the video and the low light, the night vision. It may be trying to change focus or stuff like that to give us a better picture. But it looked like there may have been some fluctuation. I don't know if it was perfectly coinciding with what we're seeing, but maybe there's something to that. Because right there, it definitely looks like it gets brighter as the figure walks by. There, doesn't really look like it changes until later. Then it looks brighter right here.
Seems to pace back and forth outside of Amy's bedroom. Amy explains that she kept hearing strange banging and dragging sounds, and eventually got out of bed to look around her home. She found nothing. But
see how much it's changing?
Recorded footage. She is
like just from her walking around. It seems to the camera's trying to adjust. I think, and it seems to be changing the lighting effect somewhat.
Shocked. What is especially creepy is that Amy says that one
you'd have to run a lot of little experiments to
directly into a wall. Amy shares on her Reddit page that she's worried for her 17-year-old son and is only sharing these videos to get answers and hopefully help. As far as I could find, Amy has never posted any supernatural content to social media before these videos. So, did Amy capture evidence of the paranormal? As always,
not a lot of
you can watch
overwhelming evidence there. You can define if it's light by focus versus focus by watching the shadows, the objects in the room. If it's camera effect, the shadows should not be affected.
All of Amy's videos and keep updated on her Reddit page at RUAmyC.
Let's take one more
Amy
look.
explains that she kept hearing strange
I'm looking at this lamp shadow.
Forth outside of Amy's bedroom. Amy explains
it does
that
look
she kept
like it's moving a little,
banging and dragging sounds,
which could be the effect of a passing car. It looks like it moves subtly, but certainly. Maybe less certainly.
A strange figure seems to pace back and forth outside of Amy's bedroom. Amy explains that she kept hearing strange banging and dragging sounds, and eventually got out of bed to look around her home.
Yeah,
she found nothing. But when she checks her camera's recorded footage, she is shocked. What is especially creepy is that Amy says that one direction the figure is pacing leads directly into a wall.
Yeah.
Amy shares on her Reddit. Did Amy capture evidence of the paranormal? Let me know what you think. You can watch all of Amy's videos.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm going to file this under inconclusive, but probably. Well, it's nothing too compelling, I should say. So yeah, inconclusive.
Dated on her Reddit page at RUAmyC143. Uninvited. Popular Korean ghost hunt live streamer Michael from the YouTube channel Docha Michael explores an abandoned house that is said to be haunted. When Michael arrives at the location, even before he has a chance to enter the building, strange things start to happen.
Strange things are happening to me.
뭐야? 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 와! 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 대놓고 비쳤다. 대놓고 비쳤다.
So the way it's moving obviously doesn't suggest the string trick, because it's moving in at least 2 different directions. You could say even 3. Not to say there's nothing acting upon it, but the simple string trick I don't think is what we're seeing here.
As soon as Michael starts recording and is just about to
Easily
enter the old
impressed.
abandoned house, a wheelchair starts to move
For my next trick, I will pick up a paper bag.
all on its own. Now
Everyone
obviously
freaks out.
Michael is shocked by what he just witnessed, but he has no idea that things are about to get even creepier.
You know he's the real deal because he has the fingerless gloves. It's a dead giveaway. Okay, so 100%. This is being acted upon in some physical way. Either someone behind it or someone over here pulling a string. I don't know what's over here. If there's even any space over there. But you can see up here at the top where it's pulled pretty clearly. So it looks like there is room over to his left. It looks like it's taking a lot of care to keep the camera aimed down, which is also very suspicious. If he's trying to make sure if he has someone back there doing these things that they don't get seen. Pretty suspicious there too. Hit up from the camera like first person horror. Yeah, it's true. It does look like Doom or something. He's in melee mode. He hasn't found a gun yet.
Something seems to pound on a door, catching Michael's attention. Then the door suddenly swings open on its own. Creepiest of all, whoever or whatever was pounding on the door seems to be hiding behind a curtain and quickly moves away. When Michael runs over, there's no one there. Just an empty room.
So I think we're looking at a hoax here
Michael
so
finds
far.
a mirror on top of a makeup table. This is
In a
when
situation like
things
this,
get
camera
downright
should be analyzing the
chilling.
blanket specifically where the whole. Yeah, it should be up the whole time, showing where, everywhere you're looking, everywhere you're going, covering, possible places people could be hiding. We've seen videos quite a bit in the past where the camera angle, they're trying to be clever to hide where obviously they have someone with them. They're trying to make sure they stay out of frame and everything. It's just illogical the way they're aiming the camera when they go somewhere. At least given the situation. I think we're seeing that again, that he's trying to hide his friend that's in there doing these things. Pretty low budget hoax.
배에서 뭔 소리가 자꾸 나냐? 배에서 뭔 소리? 배에서 막 이상한 소리 난다. 씨발 배에서 막 꼬락꼬락 소리 난다.
You never see top half of my... Yeah, you do not.
배에서 막
That means you're hungry.
이상한 소리 난다.
It just said he's in Korea. I don't know which one. Is that a insensitive joke? Because if he's in North Korea, he's obviously starving. I'm kidding, of course. He's obviously in South Korea because we're actually seeing this.
The ghost hunter's stomach suddenly starts to growl from hunger, and he is so distracted rubbing his belly that he doesn't even notice that someone or something is walking up right behind him. But when he turns around, again, there's just no one there.
And
Michael
again,
has
it's
no
pointed
idea
at the
what
floor.
he just captured on camera. He continues his exploration.
He keeps the camera so low, you can't... There's no way to verify that he just doesn't have a guy there with him walking behind him.
The creepy abandoned building. Now Michael hears a sound coming from the same curtain he filmed earlier. When he gets close to the curtain to find an explanation to the strange sound, this happens.
소리. 잠깐. 분명히 여기 어딘가에 있단 말이야 지금.
Something seems to punch at Michael through the curtains. Understandably, he is terrified by the strange attack and makes a run for it. So did Michael capture evidence of something paranormal?
I think it's all just an elaborate hoax.
Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide.
It sure is.
You can check out this full investigation and many more
he's just
creepy
trying to
videos
manipulate
over on
what
the
we're
YouTube
seeing.
channel, Docha Michael. Thanks so much for watching. For channel updates
So yeah,
and
I
random
think that
things,
100%,
please follow me on Twitter,
in my opinion,
here, and also on Instagram over there.
Was completely a hoax. Again, just my opinion. I've been wrong before. I'm sure. Kidding again. Jeez. He didn't make any panic noise at all. Something that direct physical, you would 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd scream like a little girl. I would. I'm pretty sure. All right. Let's do one more.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. Hidden.
This is probably going to be the last video we do today just because I got a late start. Our new fridge got delivered today and they gave a window of between 8 and noon, and they got here at like almost 1 o'clock. So I waited around all morning and they show up late. So got a late start and I still got a few things to get done. So probably be our last video, but it's like 26 minutes long and I constantly pause it to say things because I'm annoying like that. So we probably got at least another hour.
Too long ago, I featured a video by Czech ghost hunter Bono from the YouTube channel ILMN Bono Paranormal. In the video, Bono traveled to an abandoned car parts factory in the city of Ostrava in the Czech Republic. The factory has been deserted for almost 60 years after a large explosion in the building tragically took the lives of several workers. The factory is said to be haunted by the angry, restless spirits of the deceased workers. Now, since his last video, Bono has returned to the Czech factory to show new viewers and subscribers that came over for my video where he captured all of the terrifying activity.
Most of you are probably from Nuke Step 5 video, so welcome everyone. Actually, what Nuke got wrong is that this window was not a reflection. Behind this window is this hallway. So the figure of the ghost must walk here.
So just because there's a hallway on the other side of the window, that means it couldn't be a reflection? That's not how it works at all, my friend.
And here is the closet. That's weird. It was opened before. What's here? Everything the same, I think. As you saw, oh my god. I got scared so much that I accidentally stopped the recording. There was like caps and It fell. Oh my god. That is a mess. I was standing
Yeah,
right
you could be
here.
right. Maybe
it was
so.
just like a meter behind me.
Almost immediately, strange things start to happen in the old abandoned factory. Bono is startled by the sound of cups suddenly crashing to the floor. He decides to just leave that area and do an EVP session in another part of the abandoned factory. He uses his iPhone to record audio as he asks a few questions in his native Czech language. He requests that the spirits give him a sign of their presence. He gets a frightening answer.
Můžeš mi dát nějaké znamení, že tu jsi?
It sounds like something is thrown in Bono's direction. Shocked, he turns toward the sound and... Did you see it? Watch again.
Můžeš mi dát nějaké znamení, že tu jsi?
Right after the unexplained sound, a translucent shadow-like figure is caught on camera.
You really have to be looking hard to see that thing. So much so I would file it under probably nothing.
Camera quickly moving past Bono. However, he is completely unaware of what he just captured and doesn't see anything that could explain the strange sound. And this is not the only time the explorer captures something creepy on camera without even noticing.
The way he's moving compared to the way the shadow's moving compared to how he's moving, it might be some kind of shadow effect playing off the light of his phone screen, because it seems to be moving in unison.
Without even noticing. While exploring the factory,
Maybe.
he accidentally captures something downright chilling.
Here is nothing, just door. And I hope these are not see-through, because if they would be, they would see my light.
Did you see it? At the end of a long hallway, a shadow figure can be seen peeking out at him. He pans the camera back only seconds later, and the dark figure has disappeared. Bono has no idea, but...
So I don't think it's disappeared. I think he's just changed his angle where it looks like the hallway turns over here and goes like that direction. I think he's at an angle where you can't see that turn. That really doesn't look like anyone peeking around a corner to me. I think there's something back here in this other hallway leaning against a wall, possibly.
Something seems to be following him as he explores the factory. And the strange paranormal activity in the building just seems to intensify.
As you can see, I am just right here. The big hole is there, and no way, no way.
A heavy cart inexplicably starts to roll across the floor on its own.
Yeah, if you're the only one, that's a little tougher to explain, that one.
Bono is more than a bit freaked out by the incident and runs upstairs. After giving himself a few minutes to...
I mean, you could obviously blame wind and stuff, but I think if wind was powerful enough to move that cart, you would be hearing it. And we don't hear any wind at all.
Calm down, Bono cautiously continues his exploration. Again, he shows one of the rooms from his previous video, a room that seemed to be especially active on his last visit. Things take a terrifying turn.
Here is the room with the chair. This chair moved on my previous video. What else do we have here? Some, no!
As Bono is showing a chair that seemed to move on its own in his previous video, a large cabinet on his left captures his attention. Suddenly, all of the doors swing open, sending the terrified explorer running from the abandoned factory.
That's pretty wild.
Bono decides he's had enough and just ends the video. But there's still a large area of the building that Bono hasn't explored yet.
Nope.
So despite all that he's seen and heard, he returns once again to film in the abandoned factory. It did not go well. As Bono is going up a staircase, he suddenly hears a sound behind him. When slowed down and brightened, you can see what appears to be the same shadow figure he captured earlier, but now it's right behind him. This time he actually sees the bizarre black mass with his own eyes. And with that, he finally decides that he's had enough, and he makes a run for it.
So it's a little different. As far as that camera evidence goes, I think both instances of the shadow figure are pretty weak. Now, him seeing it with his own eyes, if that's true, that adds a little bit more credibility to it, I think, because you're able to see things more clearly, obviously, in person than we're able to see on this really badly pixelated camera. So, if you did see it, that gives a little more credence, I think.
So did Bono capture the restless spirits of the workers who tragically lost their lives in the old factory? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. You can check out Bono's full investigation, including all new videos, over on his YouTube channel, ILMN Bono Paranormal. A haunting in Holland. Now, this next video was sent to me directly, and despite my efforts and research, it's pretty much shrouded in mystery. I have no idea about the specific details on this video, other than to say it's very, very creepy. The video was posted to YouTube by an anonymous channel and features a woman in the Netherlands allegedly experiencing terrifying paranormal activity in her home.
We've seen this video. I feel like we just saw this recently. Yeah, this is the same clip he used not very long ago. I don't think we weren't watching anyone besides Nuke, I don't believe, the other day.
What the f***? Oh my god.
Now this one actually is good because her camera work is what you want to see. She goes in like to look at things, and she looks where she moves the camera, I should say, in a way that would not allow for, you know, someone to be hiding from it. The light's interesting because you can hear the switch physically being flipped. It's a very small kitchen, alright, and you'll see there's a door over here, but that's really the only way in and out other than this doorway. And there's nowhere to hide. Because you see, this wall's right here, so there's no way. I really don't think there's any possible way that someone could stay in that small space and stay out of frame of the camera. I guess possibly if you look at it again. It'd be really difficult though. I think the reaction was point at the source of the thing that happened. Yeah.
What the f*** is that on the land?
The woman is completely alone at home when she claims to hear...
See, that's a much better shadow figure than the last one was. There's a brief moment where someone could have left the room as she entered. She made a point to move away from the entry before she actually looked around. That is true that when I looked at it the second time, it was more possible than I
unexplained
thought.
Sounds all around her. As she films, her ceiling light starts swinging back and forth, and the kitchen light flickers. When she looks inside the doorway, multiple drawers and a cabinet have somehow opened on their own. Now absolutely terrified, she...
But look, where she's standing is my only thing, because this is a tiny, tiny room.
Absolutely.
You can see where her foot is. It's possible for someone to squeeze through there, but I think it'd be really hard, especially without hearing them.
Terrified, she turns to walk away when suddenly she hears the open kitchen drawer
And this is another
shut.
thing.
An open kitchen drawer slams shut. and a
as
cabinet
she's leaving, I don't see any way someone could get back in there, back by
somehow
her.
opened on their own.
Let me look again.
Now absolutely terrified, she turns to walk away when suddenly she hears the open kitchen drawer slam shut and the light goes out again.
I guess possibly. Boy, you have to be swift. You'd probably have to choreograph this quite a bit. Let's get a better look at the reflection of that door. Yes, good call. Last time we watched it, like I said, they just had this in another video. I looked at the same thing. Always
Ceiling
check
light starts swinging
reflections.
back and forth, and the kitchen light flickers. When she looks inside the doorway, multiple drawers and a cabinet.
I feel like it was there might be a better reflection later in the video. But, I mean, you can't make out anything.
Somehow
in
opened
that.
on their own. Now absolutely terrified, she turns to walk away when suddenly she hears the open kitchen drawer slam shut and the light goes out again.
Wait, was there a
right
cut?
before the camera cut, open kitchen drawer slam shut, opened on their own. Now
Looked like there might have been a cut in the
terrified,
video.
She turns to walk away when suddenly she hears the open kitchen drawer.
Yeah, I think right before she spins around, there may be a cut in this video.
Now absolutely terrified, she turns to walk away when suddenly she hears the open kitchen drawer.
Didn't that look like a cut? It's a brief moment. Someone, oh yeah, I did that.
Slam shut, and the light goes out again. Right before the camera cuts, a strange figure can be seen looking at her from inside the doorway. Now, given the anonymous nature of this video, I don't know who the woman is, and I don't know what happened to her. So for now, this video remains a complete mystery.
Oh, you know what? I think the other one we saw the other day was a follow-up. It showed this clip, but it actually had more footage. It was a later video because we're kind of doing them in reverse chronological order of him posting them. So it was a later video. This was the original.
Or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
Could be.
Decide. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. Unholy.
It's way too solid
An
in the
anonymous
shadow.
YouTube urban explorer who goes by the name Urbex Hill has
It could be, but I would say, yeah, it doesn't really look like a shadow either. But, you know, again, we don't know anything for sure when it comes to the paranormal. There could very well be, when you see an actual ghost, I know we have this idea that they're like transparent or you know, some kind of wispy whatever. But who are we to say? Like, we don't know. It could just look like a solid person. We could see ghosts all the time. They just look like regular people. Who knows?
fairly new YouTube channel dedicated to exploring abandoned locations in Cleveland, Ohio. In one of his videos,
plenty
he
of
travels
abandoned
to a
places
decaying
in Cleveland.
100-year-old Catholic church that was
Maybe
left
you're guessing. Maybe I am.
abandoned long ago. The building that was once a
You
site
just
of
don't know.
architectural beauty now appears to be in a state of severe deterioration, with collapsed ceilings and rotting floors. YouTuber Urbex Hill is carefully making his way through the church when he accidentally captures something very unexpected on the upper floor balcony.
You know what I would have said if I was you was maybe that guy behind you is a ghost.
Urbex Hill doesn't even notice when right in front of him a wooden plank suddenly just moves on
Yeah, it sure does, don't it?
its own. When replaying the footage, it's obvious that there's no reason for this piece of wood to take this strange slide across the floor.
And I don't think if you're faking it, you would do something that subtle and that close to being out of frame.
Or, completely unaware of what he just captured, Urbex Hill continues exploring and eventually finds the basement of the abandoned church. Using a flashlight, he walks down into the pitch black cellar, and that's when his exploration becomes the stuff of nightmares.
Wow.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
When the explorer pans his camera, a dark shadow can be seen standing in the basement with him. The figure doesn't reflect any light and appears to have no
So it appears the only source of light down here is what he's carrying, flashlight or camera, whatever. So casting a shadow like that really doesn't make any sense as far as, you know, being able to do it to fake it. I guess you could have another source of light over here, but I think we'd see a lot of weird shadow play if that was the case. Like you would see a shadow of this column or something like that. The fact you can't see a shadow from this column gives it a lot of credibility because the shadow is going to be cast directly behind it, which we wouldn't be able to see because our source of light is our point of view. So faking a shadow would be really hard. Now, there is a slight possibility there's just something sitting here leaning against that column. You would think we got pretty decent detail in the columns.
The figure
You'd think you
doesn't
would be
reflect
able to
any
see
light
what
and
it
appears
is.
to have no visible features. What makes the footage even stranger is that Urbex Hill had been exploring and looking around the basement for a while before the shadow figure appears. But the only footsteps you can hear are his own.
Yeah, we're definitely single light source. So that is super interesting.
But the story gets even a little bit weirder, because YouTube commenter Goya Flava believes that this same creepy dark figure can be seen even earlier in the video. This thing seems to be quietly watching Urbex Hill from a doorway as he explores the main floor of the church.
That looks like a handrail for
could it simply be a very
stairs.
odd trick of the light?
Yeah, I think that's all it is.
You can see this full video and many more creepy abandoned explorations over on his YouTube channel, Urbex Hill. Down the dark hallway. Popular Italian ghost hunters from the YouTube channel PIT Paranormal.
A squatter, you're talking the one in the basement? Maybe. I think he would have noticed him if there was someone standing there or sitting there, whichever. But that's always a possibility. I always look at that. But I don't know. I think the interaction would have been a little different. I think he would have seen him if that was the case, and I possibly would have been able to make out some features. Probably pretty prepared to say hidden. Oh, I'm sure they are. And they're going to know the building better than you do as well. So they know where to go.
To an abandoned World War II bunker in a snow-covered valley in the Italian Alps. The bunker is absolutely huge, as it goes deep into the mountains and covers multiple floors, with many narrow hallways. The creepy location has an even creepier story. Many soldiers lost their lives inside this bunker. And to this day, local residents claim that they often hear unexplained gunshots and wailing shrieks coming from inside the long-abandoned shelter. Many
residual
believe that the ghosts
stuff
of the fallen soldiers.
You're talking about a place that's completely surrounded by stone, so you get that stone tape theory effect, which is basically that, you know, stone, especially limestone, can retain energy and then kind of project it, especially at it's like replaying moments of high negative energy or high energy anyway, because that's when it was most concentrated. It can retain that energy and kind of replay it as a tape recorder. Again, a residual type deal.
Still haunt the narrow paths and hallways inside the World War II bunker. Paranormal investigation team Paolo, Deborah, Jack, Simone, and Marco carefully explore the narrow maze of winding tunnels inside the bunker to investigate the claims of paranormal activity. Eventually, they make their way several floors underground and start walking down a seemingly endless creepy tunnel. But then, the 5 investigators start to hear strange unexplained noises from deep within the bunker.
Let's have a listen.
Understandably, they begin to get a bit frightened and their nerves are on edge. Then, this happens.
Vuoi che veniamo laggiù?
cos'è? Mi ha toccato qualcosa. Ragazzi, calma. Ragazzi, mi ha toccato qualcosa. Ti ha toccato sullo zaino?
It is so hard to present like something that happens to you, like being touched or something, as evidence, because no one can verify it. You can't. It's not caught on video or anything like that. There's no way to verify that.
Dietro, sulle spalle.
Da questo lato c'erano dei passi. Qualcuno correva.
Raga, guarda che stai tenendo in trappola.
The group is terrified when cameraman Jack suddenly feels something touch his shoulders from his end of the creepy tunnel. And then host Deborah hears something running towards them from the opposite end of the tunnel. They feel trapped and surrounded by something.
Yeah, exactly. I say that all the time.
Just get out of there.
You got paranormal investigators that freak out when they see something paranormal. Like, what were you wanting to
The team
happen?
conducts a spirit box session, and they get some very, very strange answers.
Ma c'è qualcuno che ci sta capendo?
Okay, so the spirit box, we've talked about it a few times before, but just to go over it briefly again, it's a device that basically scans across all these radio frequencies very quickly. And the theory is that as it's going through these radio frequencies, a spirit can pull out certain words from these frequencies, put them together, and communicate that way. I don't know, there's been some pretty interesting evidence captured on them. Pretty interesting things have been said on them. But I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. One thing I do know, I can tell you, if you're going to do this yourself, they make an app for your phone that's a Spirit Box app. It absolutely does not do anything because it's just a recording, because your phone does not pick up radio signal. It's not, this is working off, is it UHF? Like your regular over-the-air radio? Your cell phone doesn't pick that up. It's just pulling a recording off the internet of, maybe a spirit box running at some point in time. Well, I had one spirit box witnessing as convincing, not via any evidence, but just with that specific one, I had really strong sense of dread until it was turned off. Really? That is interesting. You do have to pay attention, I think, to those feelings like that, too, of dread and like impending doom, things like that.
Senti quanta gente. Ma io voglio sapere se qualcuno mi sta sentendo. Era inglese. Era inglese.
Dove sei? Where are you? Ha detto.
Vediamo di parlare col comandante. Posso parlare col comandante? It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine.
Even though they are in Italy and are getting mostly Italian responses, suddenly they hear a voice on the spirit box speaking English. But things get even stranger as they continue to hear unexplained sounds coming from somewhere inside the bunker. As the cameraman Jack explains that it's hard to tell where the sounds are coming from, photographer Simone snaps a picture and captures something terrifying.
E che qui un combattuto non capisce da dove arriva. Bravo, è quello che stavo per dirti. Raga.
Che cos'è quello, raga?
C'è qualcuno.
Cos'è?
C'è qualcuno. C'è qualcuno, guarda. Guarda lì, che c'è un'ombra. In
Nera.
mezzo al corridoio.
La vedi?
In mezzo al corridoio.
Ho sentito qualcosa, ragazzi. Ho sentito qualcosa.
Nah, that's pretty weak.
C'è qualcuno.
Pretty
While taking
weak
photos of the
sauce.
tunnel in front of them, Simone captures what appears to be a figure at the end of the hallway. But apparently PIT host Paolo is unfazed. He decides to venture off alone to explore one of the dark tunnels. He sees something absolutely chilling.
Hey?
E avevamo sentito quei passi correre prima, cioè...
Sì.
Non è che stavano scappando da noi, che si stavano organizzando.
Ehi? Chi c'è?
¿Qué está hablando?
Cosa è successo? Fondo al corridoio, come c'era veramente una... Raga, l'ho filmato, c'era qualcuno che
Well, let's see, because I didn't see anything in all
walks
that.
from left to right at the end of the tunnel right in
Oh,
front of Paolo.
yeah, okay.
He runs after the figure, camera in hand, but when he reaches the spot where the figure disappeared,
Oh, okay,
nothing
now
there.
I understand the context of what's going on here. So it looked like something was walking into this corridor that has obviously caved in, or has been blocked
spot where the
off.
figure disappeared.
Doesn't really explain where it was walking from, though, because it doesn't look like there was ever a corridor here. This would, make sense, lend itself to the residual haunting thing. Just soldier walking, into that corridor. You can't physically walk in it now, but at one time you obviously could. Now, that being said, where would he have been walking from? If you come down here, it didn't really look like he was coming up and then turned. It looked like he was walking straight across, right?
There's nothing there. Not only that, but there's nowhere the figure could have gone. Just a blocked off tunnel wall of rocks and stone. Whatever the figure was, it seems to have disappeared into thin air. So did the 5 investigators capture
Oh, really? Yeah, I wouldn't be too interested in that. Wouldn't want anything to do with that, actually. I saw Annabelle.
evidence that the ghosts of soldiers are still haunting the abandoned bunker? You decide. You can check out the full 4-part series and many more scary adventures over on the YouTube channel PIT Paranormal Investigation Team. The Gold Hill Hotel. The Gold Hill Hotel in the small town of Gold Hill, Nevada was built all the way back in the Wild West days of the early 1860s. The hotel and the surrounding area have a very dark past. You see, right behind the hotel lies the Yellow Jacket Gold Mine. On April 7, 1869, in the Yellow Jacket Gold Mine, a raging fire broke out, causing much of the mine to collapse with the workers inside. An estimated 35 miners lost their lives in what is now considered to be Nevada's worst mining accident of all time. Many of the miners' bodies were just never recovered. They remain buried somewhere in the collapsed mine
Might not have
shaft.
liked you taking a picture.
Their spirits are said to still haunt the area to this day. One of the more active spirits at the Gold Hill Hotel is said to be that of a miner named William, who resided in room number 5 before perishing in the gold mine fire. Today, visitors claim to smell an odd, strong tobacco odor when they enter room number 5.
All right, that's not that uncommon in buildings where there was a lot of tobacco smoked over long periods of time. It can get into the wood, into the into like even wallpaper, furniture, of course, all kinds of stuff. And then if something like the humidity level changes even a little bit, or wood expands or contracts, it can release some of that smell. And you'll get a whiff of it. It's really not that uncommon. It's definitely not paranormal. Yeah.
Others say that they've seen the frightening apparition of a miner roaming the hotel halls. Guests also report that they hear unexplained knocking. Things move on their own, and hotel doors slam shut, locking guests outside. Another spirit that is said to haunt the hotel is that of a so-called, quote, lady of the night named Rosie, who stayed in room number 4 while entertaining men during lonely nights. Just like William, she's sometimes seen in her room, but also aimlessly wandering around the hotel. In a 3-part YouTube series, Twin Paranormal team Ryan, River, Nick, and Wyatt investigate the many claims surrounding the mysterious Gold Hill Hotel and its 2 lingering unwanted guests. The guys hang bells at strategic locations throughout the hotel as the jingling will detect any movement. And even though there's no draft in the hotel,
trip
the
wires
bells continue to jingle.
It's also a good way to figure out if someone's just messing with you. Bust their ass going through a doorway.
That was the bells. No, it wasn't. You hear that? No, it wasn't. That jingling? Wait, it wasn't this?
No.
No,
That was the bells.
It's on video, and then we tried to leave. Me and River both.
What the f***? Just heard it.
What?
The bell.
The bell. Did you touch the bells? Who's ringing bells, dude?
You heard it that time?
The keys are here. Impossible if they're there.
What is that?
Who keeps ringing the bells?
They hear unexplained voices and the sound of knocking on the walls and ceilings.
Now they're coming back. Whoa. Oh. Was that you? No. That wasn't you? No, I swear. That was not me.
The team separates and twins Ryan and River are alone in room 4, Rosie's room. They hear a noise and suspect that one of their cameras has strangely just turned off for no reason.
And your thing just turned off.
It's a K2 meter EVP.
Turned off, but
Not EVP, sorry. EMF detector.
did you hit that? Oh my god, no, I did not
Yeah.
touch that. Are you sure?
If you
Were
didn't have a
filming?
ghost,
Yes.
you do now.
I'm filming. Are you sure you didn't touch that? I swear on everything. Were you filming? Can we look at that again? Yes, hang on. Look at it right now.
As Ryan checks the camera in the bathroom, the cabinet under the sink mysteriously opens on its own. Unfortunately, when Ryan and River look back at their footage, they're disappointed to find that they didn't capture the bottom half of the cabinet as it opened.
Please, please, please,
So,
please, please.
it's kind of an easy cop-out, really, to say this, but, you know, you can have cabinets that are unbalanced, cabinet doors that are unbalanced to the point where just walking by can create enough of a movement where they'll open or close, as the case may be.
Please, please, please. No! Oh, I didn't touch it. That's not enough proof. It's not. It's no good. Man, I did not touch it.
Ryan tries to debunk the possibility that he might have accidentally tapped the cabinet door with his foot.
I just don't know how I could. We'll try to open it. I mean, how easy was that to open? Not that.
Well, that's assuming it was latched, too. Okay, you can't assume it was latched. It may have just been leaning against the latch or whatever. But it does look like when he does get it open, it does open up on its own due to it not being mounted perfectly straight.
That easy. We can go ahead and give it a shot. I mean, but then again, if we even play the audio, I didn't even touch it, man. I didn't even bang anything. I didn't touch anything.
Now,
I don't
what
think
Ryan
he
and River
touched
don't
it.
know at the time is that right after this incident, over in vacant room number 5, which was Gold Miner Williams' room, their static camera captures something truly bizarre.
Well, if you open that, someone was in here, then thank you. We are definitely not prepared for that. That's for sure. Did I just say fire? It just said fire, right? What's that sound? I don't know. That just said fire. What the f is that sound?
While Nick and Wyatt are downstairs and Ryan and River are in room 4, next door in vacant room 5, a chair inexplicably begins
Very
to rock
nice.
back and forth on its own, almost as if something is sitting there. The twin paranormal team members hear a strange thumping sound, but they have no idea what their static camera is capturing in room 5. Later in the investigation, while Ryan sits in the same room all by himself, again, the chair moves.
I just heard a groan. I don't know if it was them.
Across.
Across. Are you across from me? If you are, please move something.
River, Nick, and Wyatt are downstairs doing a spirit box session while Ryan is upstairs all alone in room 5. He doesn't even notice it. But again, the chair in the corner of the room starts rocking back and forth. Later, things...
Very, very subtle rock, but if you look closely, the curtain
But again,
also moves subtly. So there may be a vent or something aimed down here. AC kicks on.
The chair in the
or
corner of
heat
the room
kicks on,
starts rocking
whatever.
back and forth.
See how it moves a
Later,
little bit?
things take an even more terrifying turn when the twin paranormal team members are now all together in room 5. Next door in empty room
Lacrosse.
4, their static camera captures something truly chilling.
Could be. You can't
just go
tell.
off? It's ticking. Here I go.
Beware.
That was pretty clear. A little more clear than the across.
If you can, Nick, try and follow where you're getting those spikes. What did he just say?
It's around this area?
You didn't say. Did he breathe before he said anything?
No.
I just heard a me.
Nick is holding an EMF meter that gets triggered by something. And only seconds later, a dark shadow-like mass seems to walk past their static camera over in room 4. This is the same room
Yeah, it's
where
kind of an
Rosie,
interesting
Gold
shot.
Hill's Lady of the Night, is said to have been seen by many recent hotel guests.
Okay, first, I wish they hadn't slowed it down so much on the first one. My first thought was it looked like it was going toward the bed and then kept the same path, like going over the bed. But it does look like someone could be walking around the bed. So that's a little bit better.
So did the twin paranormal team capture evidence of a haunting on camera? Could it be that the ghosts of Rosie and William are still wandering the Gold Hills Hotel after 150 years?
See, in that shot, the curtains weren't moving at all. So who knows? Maybe I jumped the gun before.
Let me know what you think. You can check out the full 3-part investigation of the Gold Hill Hotel with even more creepy activity that I didn't show here over on the Twin Paranormal YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. For channel updates, please follow me on Instagram.
Has an impact on the bedpost. It'll either go behind it or on it. Let's have a look.
Twin paranormal team capture evidence of a haunting on camera? Could it be triggered by something? And only seconds later, a dark shadow-like mass seems to walk past their static camera over in room 4. This is the same room where Rosie, the Gold
Kinda
Hills
fades out
Lady of the
quite a
Night,
bit.
is said to have been seen by many
So it definitely goes on
recent
this side
hotel
of it.
guests.
This side of the post.
So did the twin paranormal team capture evidence?
So that's pretty cool. Pretty neato, as the kids say. Maybe they probably do not. All right, well, that's gonna be it for me today. I appreciate the views. Thanks for stopping by. Kids in the 60s said that. Yeah, I knew there were some somewhere. Again, I gotta work the next 2 days, so I won't be on. I am going to work on a YouTube video. I really am bad at doing videos and stuff, so I don't know how long it'll be. But I'll spend a little time at work doing that. But until next time, thank you again for watching and hanging out, and we will see you later.